am here on behalf of my son and a group of other mothers who also have special needs children like mine. And I speak for all of them when I say that we have completely lost our trust in the Burlington public school system. My son came home last week, clearly shaken up, and asked to privately talk to me. He said, "Mom, we took a test today at school, but the questions were really weird. I didn't know how to answer them. I didn't want to take the test, but my teachers made me." It wasn't until I saw the questions posted on Facebook that I understood what he was talking about. This was a calculated and deliberate attack on our children's innocence and denial of our parental right to protect our minor children. With this survey, you have exposed our innocent children to mental pornography. This is sexual grooming and downright sexual assault on our children. You have corrupted their innocent minds by exposing them to explicit sex or sexual acts that most adults would not even tolerate being asked about.
Okay. God bless that mom. God bless the parents in that Burlington school board meeting. Welcome to Parent Alert by PragerU Kids. We are off to a rip, roar, and start, right, gang? All my crews back there. Jace, hey, everyone. All right. So today is Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. I'm Jill Simonian. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, X. Did I miss anything? I got it all. I got a thumbs up. Drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching live from. I usually am live with you looking at the comments on Facebook. So we're going to, if we're not live on Facebook yet, hopefully we're going to get there. But that opening video, if you haven't seen it already, it kind of went wild in a wonderfully tragic way yesterday. That opening video is from Libs of TikTok's X account from yesterday, April 15th. The video itself goes on for 6 minutes. Parent after parent is commenting at this school board meeting in Burlington, Massachusetts. There are detailed reports from parents about how their middle school kids were given explicit overreaching surveys in Burlington public schools in Massachusetts. Some of the kids given the survey allegedly had special needs. The video that we started with that mom, she was talking about how she was there on behalf of many parents who had children with special needs. Many of the parents who spoke at the school board meeting declared, get this, that they actually opted their kids out of the survey, like we always tell everyone to do, right? I am the first person, the mom, that says opt your kids out of things in the beginning of the year periodically. Many of the parents that spoke at this school board meeting said that they opted their kids out of the survey, but that their kids were still required to take it, which is really troubling. I encourage you to watch the entire video. It's about 6 minutes. It made me really, really sad. One mom in the video who we did not show, that came a few minutes after the section that we did show you, said that, you know, very wholeheartedly, I don't want to be here. I don't like being here. And she told the story about how she opted her child out, but that the teacher actually gave the student the survey anyways in the middle school. So really troubling. We are sharing all headlines today in education that caught my eye the last few days. We're talking about the shocking school survey. We're also talking about a public prayer being forbidden, which I'm going to get to in the later in the show. And then we're also talking about financial literacy rising. So we've got a lot of things of importance today. So let's go back to this shocking middle school survey in Burlington, Massachusetts. What was the big deal about the survey anyways, right? So we see these videos always floating on X. We see them, with the parents speaking and the school board members looking blankly at the parents. What was the big deal? I mean, this survey couldn't have been that bad, right? It couldn't have been that bad. Let's take a look at some of the screenshots shared allegedly from the survey. And I always say allegedly because, yes, we recognize that everything online cannot be taken always as gospel. I set my mind's in a Holy Week theme today. So yeah, everything online cannot be taken as gospel, but let's take a look at some of these screenshots that were shared allegedly from the survey via Libs of TikTok's post on X. And I'm going to follow along with you now. I'm going to go to this first slide. The first slide that was shared via Libs of TikTok's X account, and I believe this was shared in the last few days. Violence-related behaviors and experiences. These next questions ask about sexual violence and dating violence. I'm not going to read these things out loud. If you're watching live, please read these. Literally, zoom in, do whatever you need to do. Read these questions out loud. I've become very sensitive lately as a mom of middle school children about what comes out of my mouth online, because I frankly cannot. We've been talking about all of this, overreaching surveys that are age inappropriate in schools. And frankly, I now have trouble saying this stuff online. Here's a question. I will read it. Has someone you were dating or going out with physically hurt you? Has someone you were dating or going out with ever done sexual things to you or forced you to do things that you did not want to do? Going to the next slide, it's about sexual orientation. This is who you are emotionally, romantically, or sexually attracted to, the survey says. Your sexual orientation is not the same as your gender identity. Which of the following best describes your orientation? Straight or heterosexual, lesbian or gay, asexual, bisexual, pansexual, queer. I am not sure. Questioning. I do not know what this question means. I prefer not to answer. I'll say I prefer not to answer. Next slide on this survey given to Burlington middle schoolers in Massachusetts. Have you ever had sexual contact with another person? Have you ever had sexual intercourse? Next slide. The next question asks about your gender identity. Gender identity is how you see yourself. You can see yourself as male, female, a mix of both, or neither. It can be the same or different than what you were assigned at birth. Questions for middle schoolers, right? Now, let me ask you, my audience, whether you're on X or Insta or Facebook or YouTube or, wherever you are, does this survey fall under inclusivity, education? Right? I feel like a broken record. Am I right? My people back there in the producer Jay's, I see the thumbs up. I have been talking about this. We all have been talking about these issues for years. So these surveys are given under a lying guise of inclusivity, education. My personal opinion as a mom is that this is state-sanctioned verbal abuse and trauma imposed on children during taxpayer-funded classroom time. When, again, did it become acceptable for adults, teacher or not, credentialed educator or not, when did it become acceptable for adults to present information like this to minors on taxpayer-funded school time? This is not the first time we've talked about it on Parent Alert, yet here we are again. If you haven't already, speak up. Ask questions. I again encourage you, if you're just joining us, I shared the school board meeting video at the very top of this Parent Alert from Libs of TikTok's X account, detailing how parent after parent at this school board meeting was talking to their elective representatives saying, this is not acceptable. Keep shouting it. I don't care if we all sound like broken records, right? Keep shouting it, because this is not education. At PragerU Kids, we have been talking about this for years. This type of overreaching survey under a guise of inclusion is not education. If you have, and we want to inform you about it all. And that's our goal here on Parent Alert by PragerU Kids. If you have not subscribed for free to PragerUKids.com, please do so. We keep you notified, updated about educational headlines happening in a neighborhood near you so that we can be alert and informed and consistently engaged. We also deliver wholesome videos and lessons to your email inbox that teach children kindergarten through 12th grade knowledge, life skills, history, good character, financial literacy, civics. Hey, all the things that they're supposed to be learning in school, right? But instead, many cases, unfortunately, they're given these surveys. Not here. We've got free resources. We've got tons of faith-based content too. And speaking of faith, I brought to you something else, my second headline, if you will. I want to check out another meeting in a public forum where a parent spoke up about something that concerned her as a mom, sort of associated with all of this gender identity stuff that is infiltrated into too many of our public schools. Let's listen to this clip. I found this online. Let's listen to a clip from an Instagram account called Ventura Forward. This is in Southern California. Let's watch and listen to this clip right now. I want to know what you think about this.
We don't do prayer.
I'm Taryn Swain. I'm a mother of 6, and the Ventura County Public School socially transitioned my daughter without my consent. I've come here today to offer nothing but prayer, and I want to lift up my Father in heaven. Father God, I just come to you in Jesus' name. I pray, Father, that you would tear down the strongholds in this place. I pray, Father, that you would raise up the men in this room.
Stop. Thank you.
Father, that you would raise up the men in this room. I pray, Father, that you would
stop.
I pray that you would raise
stop
up
the time. Speaker.
everybody on this. Everybody.
Stop. Thank you. We don't do prayer. Please finish your comments.
Okay.
We don't do prayer.
We don't do prayer. You tell me in the comments right now. I don't know. We don't do prayer here, said the city council member. I believe that was the city council. That was not a school board. That was the city council. We don't do prayer here. I don't know what is worse, that the city council member said we don't do prayer here in a public forum. Isn't that a violation of the First Amendment? I don't know. Or that the people started cheering after she said we don't do prayer here. What's worse? I can't decide. Watching that gets me very emotional. I'm not going to sit here and cry online, but we don't do prayer here. Obviously, this was a very contentious meeting with a very sensitive topic. I don't know anything about this mom that we just watched that offered prayers in a unifying and, quite frankly, very respectful way in a public forum. But what I do know is that where we are as a nation right now, without God being allowed in public forums, no God allowed in schools, it's destroying us. I think many of you agree who are watching. Some of you probably disagree. I see all the comments all the time. We know that many of you disagree, and that's okay. I do not agree with that perspective, but we do live in the United States of America, and I may not agree with what you have to say, but I'll always defend your ability to say it. I feel like I say that every single time on these Parent Alert Lives, but I stick to it. Separation of church and state and freedom of religion does not mean freedom from religion, right? I'm talking now as Jill the mom, Jill the co-creator of PragerU Kids. This citizen, this mother, in my opinion, has the right to pray freely according to our First Amendment. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a constitutional attorney, but I would think parents and families have the right to lean on religious beliefs in public forums and private forums. We have the right as parents to opt out and be protected from lessons or activities that conflict with our religious beliefs, like those survey questions from Burlington Schools in Massachusetts that we shared at the very top, or like the social transition that this mother alleged at the Ventura City Council meeting that was forced upon her daughter without her consent. In the spirit of Passover and Holy Week, this is just a fun fact. Fun fact now. In the spirit of Passover and Holy Week, I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a little bit. Our nation and public school system was founded on Judeo-Christian values. If you read original works by our founding fathers, you're going to see that those original works, letters, documents, I'm not talking about, everyone always says, oh, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. I'm talking about other historical documents, letters that they wrote to one another, documents that were the precursors to those documents. They're all anchored in Judeo-Christian beliefs. They're anchored in scripture. Yeah, that 1962 Supreme Court decision removed prayer from schools, but is there a chance that perhaps that was a misguided mistake by human beings who make mistakes? Is there a chance that those human beings on that Supreme Court made a mistake with that ruling? Is there a chance? I'm asking. I'm genuinely asking. Shout at me, yell at me, comment in the comments, all of the things. Is there a chance that it was a misinterpretation from a misguided court? People make mistakes. Removing God from schools actually reinvents history. Everyone talks about erasing history, reinventing history. Removing God from schools is really an erasure of history. A big why for what we create here at PragerU Kids is to teach parents the truth about how many lies that so many of us were, dare I say, swindled to believe when we were being raised. I didn't know growing up that our public schools were founded with the Bible and God at the center historically. So as a mom, I never even questioned if it was okay that God was removed from schools. I was always of the thought, hey, totally fine. Public schools are for school. Church is for Sundays. God is for our private lives. I never even questioned it because, dare I offer my opinion, that part of history was erased during the time when I was being raised and I was being educated through what I thought was, very good public schools. I was mistaken. We parents, so many of us never even questioned if it was okay that God was removed from schools because we were schooled to understand. Yeah, it's totally fine. Totally fine. One of my favorite books and videos that we have here at PragerU Kids is for our youngest learners. Who's going to guess what it is? It's Otto's Tales, the American Trinity. I have the hard copy of the book right here. Holler if you've seen me wave this around before. If you've been following me forever, you know all about this. But right now, let's take a look at our episode, a little snip of our episode that we have online to help your children and you parents understand what our Judeo-Christian values mean here in America. Let's take a look at the clip right now.
Spring has sprung. Up come the flowers. Out comes the sun. We're in such a happy mood. And there's Passover too, said Dennis. Yes, I barked. Passover for Jews and Easter for Christians. Lots of good food for everyone. Otto, Dennis continued, you've probably heard of the Christian Trinity. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I know a Trinity means something that has three parts, I replied. That's right. Did you know that America has its very own Trinity? The American Trinity, I almost shouted. Yes, Otto, it's written on every American coin, liberty, in God we trust, and e pluribus unum. What does that mean, I asked. That's not even English. Well, let's go and find out, said Dennis.
It's not even English. God bless Dennis Prager. We love you, Dennis. We love you, Dennis. We love you, Dennis. If you happen to stumble upon this online, thank you for all of your prayers for Dennis, by the way. We all appreciate them. He appreciates them. They are being heard. They're being felt. And we just, God bless you, Dennis. E pluribus unum is Latin, as Dennis goes on to describe in that video. It's Latin for out of many one. And if you don't know, it traces back to our 13 colonies when the 13 colonies joined together to make a new nation in 1776. Now, I and many of us here at PragerU Kids also like to equate that saying, e pluribus unum, to what true diversity in America means. We are all different, yes, but we're all united by shared American values. And Dennis Prager's explanation about how our nation functions by the three mottos that we talk about in our video and our American Trinity Otto's Tales books, E Pluribus Unum, Liberty, One Nation Under God, mottos, or in God we trust rather. These are mottos on every single American coin. And I can't help but wonder, what if we spent time teaching kids those tenets instead of some of those, quite frankly, perverted questions that Burlington, Massachusetts schools were given to middle schoolers, right? Compare this book. I mean, let's open it up. Oh, hi, George Washington. Okay. So compare this book talking about In God We Trust to the survey questions asking about gender identity. Imagine if kindergarten, first graders, second graders actually learned about wholesome diversity. They took an oath, and U.S. citizens they became. I am proud to be an American, we heard one of them proclaim, rather than the diversity of gender identity. Right? Weigh in. I want to hear what you think in the comments about what's going on in our schools. I should mention that this book right here, not endorsed by the American Library Association. I laugh. I can only laugh now. If you go to the American Library Association on their website, just take a look for yourself to see what types of books that they endorse, and then ask yourself why so many uninformed people get irate whenever we announce a partnership between PragerU Kids and various state education departments to include wholesome books like this that teach children about our American values. Just ask yourself. Fun assignment for you today after this. Okay, moving on to the next headline. Not only is this Holy Week, right? But it's also tax week. Not so fun. Holy Week makes me smile. Tax week makes me, cringe, right? So not only is God missing from schools, but guess what else is missing from schools? Education about money. I don't have to say this to anyone watching who has teenagers. Answer in the comments now, if you will. Should schools require one financial literacy class for high school graduation? I want to know what you think. This article that I'm going to share with you next was sent to me, and it's from IllinoisPolicy.org. This was actually sent to me by someone from Illinois. We love to hear from you. If you have articles, things happening in your neck of the woods in education, please, you can always DM me on Instagram, tag me on Instagram. I want to know at Jill Simonian, or you can tag PragerU Kids or send it to the PragerU Kids Instagram account also. We always want to know what's going on. So this was sent to me. The headline here, teaching students to be smart with money can cut poverty. Now, let's scroll down this article a little bit. It opens with, Minnesota and Utah have taken practical approaches to financial literacy education that have measurably improved students' understanding in both states. Illinois should do more to teach students how to manage their money. This is obviously an opinion piece that was written. And if we scroll down a bit, it's an interesting article, and there's a lot of clickable links in here again, this is on IllinoisPolicy.org. If you Google teaching students to be smart with money can cut poverty, it'll bring it right up. But if we scroll down a bit, there is a section here that details in 2003, it's underneath both of the maps. In 2003, Utah became the first state in the country to mandate a financial literacy class for graduation from Utah public high schools. In 2004, the Utah State Board of Education approved general financial literacy, a one-semester course required for the 2008 graduating class and beyond. And these key concepts are taught throughout Utah's K through 12th grade system, culminating culminating in the literacy course in students' junior or senior years. It includes basic economic concepts, factors influencing personal financial portfolios, sources of income and the relationship between career prep and lifetime earnings, saving methods, investment strategies, principles of personal money management, including budgeting, credit. I mean, these are literally things that I could use a crash course about, dare I say cash course, because that's the name of our series here at PragerU Kids that teaches financial literacy. And later on in the article, it does go on to say that a 2018 performance review conducted by the state auditor and treasurer found that Utah students who have completed the graduation requirement have better personal financial knowledge and make better behavioral choices than those who have not. Minnesota apparently followed Utah's lead in this, and Minnesota became the 20th state to require a personal finance course for high school graduation in 2023. And Minnesota now tops state financial literacy rankings. So great. This article that I've shared is obviously making the case that Illinois should be doing what Minnesota and Utah are doing. And I know now, as a California mom, California is now teetering on requiring financial literacy. New Hampshire allows kids, in fact, to earn high school credits with our series here, Cash Course, as partners with us. It's a non-mandatory supplemental partnership between New Hampshire and PragerU Kids for our financial literacy course specifically. So that's good news. But financial literacy is one of those topics, as most of us know, it unites us as Americans. I don't care what side of the what side of the aisle you're on, left, right, center, it doesn't matter. Financial literacy, some say, I actually said it online last week. I said financial literacy, in my opinion, should be an American value because a free society depends on informed individual responsibility. Let's go to the series page now on PragerUKids.com for our financial literacy course called Cash Course. It's kind of a tongue twister. It's not Crash Course. It's Cash Course. Say it with me 5 times. If we scroll down, almost 40 episodes. Prices, debt, budget, crypto, bankruptcy, inflation. The first 4 episodes at the top of the page there. And I will add, too, that each Cash Course episode is complete with links to free worksheets, free lesson plans, all of these things that really do enrich and uplift the stickiness of the education, if you will. So let's watch a clip of Cash Course. The first 4 episodes we have at the top are all about taxes, special for this week. Yay. I myself should be watching these, over and over again. But let's watch a clip so you could just sort of get the idea how we teach financial literacy here at PragerU Kids. Let's roll it.
Founding Father Benjamin Franklin once wrote, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain, except death and..."
No.
Don't say it. Please don't say it. Please don't say it.
Taxes.
You said it.
Look, taxes are not fun, but they're an unavoidable part of life. From grain in ancient Egypt to dollars in the United States, governments have collected forms of payments throughout history to fund public projects, like roads, sewage systems, and militaries. Tax amounts are often based on what a person earns, buys, and owns. So the more you know, the better prepared you'll be when you earn, when you buy, and when you own.
Okay, fine. What kind of taxes do I pay?
Well, when you get a job, you'll notice your take-home pay, or net income, is less than what you actually make. That's because a percentage of your money will be withheld from your paycheck to pay for income and payroll taxes.
And there you go. Money is not my favorite thing to learn about, okay? It's just not. I should know more. I don't know what I should know, but Cash Course is one of those series developed here in-house with our talented writers and educators. We do have credentialed educators. I always love to mention that because, you know, we're accused of being non-accredited. No. We actually have credentialed teachers with masters in history, legit stuff, who create the content. And Cash Course is one of those series that not only educates middle school kids and older, but it also serves as an educational tool for moms like me. If you are like me, where you feel like you legitimately did not learn what you were supposed to about money or history or anything else, Cash Course is one of those series that works, where I watch it, I learn from it, I get something out of it, and I get the free tools to be able to teach my own kids about what I didn't know up to that point. Who remembers their first paycheck and all the taxes taken out? Leave a comment. I think I was around 18-ish when I got that hard lesson. Yeah, I want my kids to learn that before I learned it. Shocking, angry, looking at my paycheck. The best part, of course, is that all of our shows on PragerU Kids are free for parents, for teachers, for clubs, organizations, for classrooms. I think we are unfortunately out of time right now. I'm looking on YouTube, guys. So let me holler at me in the back. Were we live on Facebook? No, we were not live on Facebook. I'm so sad, Facebook. That's the place where, you know, I'm very active on Instagram, guys. Jill Simonian on Instagram, also PragerU Kids on Instagram. Subscribe and follow if you haven't already. I usually follow along and read the comments on Facebook. I'm looking at... This is where I'm going to get a lot of hate comments. I'm looking at the YouTube right now. I cannot find where the comments are. Do I have comments on YouTube? I do, and I can't find them. Help me. All right, I can't find the comments on YouTube. I don't know how to find it. I would want to read the comments. If you guys want to shout comments to me, I'll repeat them on camera. When we Americans do things together, we what was it? We most always create greatness. I'm going to leave it at that. I couldn't have asked for a better comment than that. I don't know. Who is that from? Gregory Cobb. Gregory, you have stolen my heart today, Wednesday, April 16th. When we Americans do things together, we always do it with greatness. Did I paraphrase? I think I got it. But I couldn't have asked for a better comment than that. If you have not subscribed already, subscribe to PragerU Kids. Go to PragerUKids.com, subscribe for free. You get children's educational content delivered straight to your email inbox a few times a week. Free. History, civics, financial literacy, good character. We also have some faith-based content. We always will notify you when there is a parent alert happening. We've been doing these parent alerts once every 2 weeks, tackling educational headlines so that you as parents and teachers, we know there are great teachers out there, so that you can be aware and informed about what's going on around the country. Today, if you're just joining us today, you can go back to the time. Do people still say rewind? I have no idea, but I'm going to say rewind, recue, click back, whatever the current thing is to say. Go back to the beginning of this video. The very top of this video, I shared a shocking survey that was given to middle schoolers in Burlington, Massachusetts, talking about gender identity, sexual orientation, age-inappropriate things. I shared a video of parents speaking up at a school board meeting, parents who had in fact opted their children out, yet the teachers allegedly gave these students the survey anyway. We talk about that. Get informed of what happened in Burlington, Massachusetts. If you're from Burlington, Massachusetts, let me know in the comments, because we do go through these comments after we are live and try to respond to all of them. We want to hear your point of view. We also talked about the city council meeting in Ventura County, California, Southern California, that shut down a parent's prayer. Made me very sad. We discussed that. We also talked about teaching our kids our Judeo-Christian value foundation, our Judeo-Christian values foundation here in America, and shared once again one of my favorite episodes and books, Otto's Tales, The American Trinity, In God We Trust, E Pluribus Unum, Liberty. The American Trinity are three values that unite us as Americans, as aptly described by our dear, dear Dennis Prager, our leader. God bless you, Dennis. That is it for Parent Alert today. Don't miss an episode. We want to know what you think. We do love feedback. Even if we don't agree with you, we will always defend your ability to say it and speak it here in our beloved United States of America. I want to wish everyone, I hope you had a beautiful Passover. If you celebrate Passover, I hope you have a blessed Easter. If you celebrate Easter, my family, we celebrate Easter. This is Holy Week. God be with all of us. Godspeed to all of us. And God bless all of you who continue to generously support us in teaching our children truth and values and true knowledge as they grow. We thank you always for your support. Until next time, I will say goodbye. Bye-bye.